Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about cherry fragrances that I have in my collection, all those that I've tried and I love them, and the cherries that I would recommend you. So I made sure to include in this video just the cherries that you can actually get in the store. There's no sense for me to talk about the cherries that are no longer available, and if they are, you have to pay so much money for them and there's no guarantee that you will like them. So I'm gonna stick just to the ones that are available at the moment. So I have two fragrances here that have been discontinued, but on the various websites you can still find them, no problem. So first of all, I'm gonna be talking about 4 fragrances that I no longer have a sample, not a mini size. I used to have them, I used to use them, so I know these fragrances, but I can't physically show you, not even a sample. But I have to mention them because they are beautiful. Make sure to include the picture of the fragrance here. So the first one is the fragrance by New Notes, and it's called Latte di Cherry. I had an opportunity to test it and then to wear it because I was given samples on Exans at Exans 2023. So it's a relatively new fragrance. It's not new. It came out last year. It has cherry, almond, red berry, spices, tonka bean, vanilla, amber, and so many more notes. This is a beautiful, a little bit spicy cherry, very nice, very juicy, and it has quite a lot of almond in it, but it's a very, very nice, juicy cherry fragrance. The next one is the fragrance by BDK, Rouge Smoking, and for me this is primarily not about cherry. It has tonka bean, so primarily for me it's about flowers and tonka bean and then a little bit of cherry. It has cherry, pink pepper, bergamot, black vanilla, tonka bean, cashmere wood, so it's like a bit woody, cashmere wood and tonka bean cherry fragrance. Beautiful fragrance. I loved it. I loved the longevity, I loved the sillage. It's a very, very, very nice, well-made fragrance. The next one, probably it's the most kind of simple from these 4, but I loved it. It's a sweet cherry. So this is the 7 Virtues, and the fragrance is called Cherry Ambition, I believe. Yeah. So it has cherry, pink pepper, it has marshmallow, saffron, cherry blossom, vanilla, etc., etc. Lots and lots of good things. It's quite simple fragrance. Don't mind the saffron because it just gives the depth of the cherry. But in all, it's a simple fragrance, but very, very effective, very impactful fragrance. Out of these 4, I think at the moment it's the most, it's the cheapest, and it's very, very, very nice cherry. And it is also a green, clean brand that I believe it's just at Sephora at the moment, but maybe in your country you are able to find it in other stores as well. And the last one is the Boho Boko. This is the Polish brand, and I had an opportunity and pleasure to test their fragrances at this year's Exans, and I had a sample. Absolutely beautiful cherry fragrance, and it's cherry with the bulls, because I was actually told the story by the sales assistant that this is the cherry that the founder of the brand has created to kind of commemorate the moments when his grandfather was making boozy, like cherry liquor, and he remembers that that moment. So the smell is very boozy, so cherry is very beautiful. So it has cherry, it has liquor and strawberry and caramel and tonka bean and vanilla. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It has this kind of dark red tint to it, so be careful with your clothes, but it's very, very, very nice cherry. So, and I have to briefly touch upon another topic, and it's important, trust me. Some people don't know the difference between cherry and sour cherry. So there's two kind of fruits that they look alike, but when you taste them, if you take a classic cherry and a classic sour cherry, they taste differently. The classic cherry is sweeter. The sour cherry is sour. It has this acidic quality to it. Obviously, we have some sour cherries that are super sweet, and we have some cherries that are so acidic. But if we are talking about the classic one, the sour cherry is sour, is acidic, and the cherry is more sweet. But some people don't know the difference, and some people don't even know that sour cherry exists. For them, it's all cherry, it's just a different type of cherry. And I have actually encountered this problem. Well, it's not a problem, but some people don't know is if it's a cherry, if it's a sour cherry. Including some notes on Fragrantica, they kind of, it should be cherry, but it's sour cherry, or sorry, oh my gosh, my voice, or vice versa. So just keep in mind, I'm gonna be talking about sour cherry and cherry, because for me, for my nose, and I have a very, very good understanding of what cherry is and what sour cherry is, because you see, I love sour cherry and I love cherry, and I have been eating them all my life. And sour cherry is much more sour, and it's actually, if you take sour cherry and cherry, they have a slight difference even in the skin, because the skin, you know, of the sour cherry is much more thin. You know, it's you can actually break it just with your finger. You just touch it and you break it. The skin of the cherry is much more thick. So anyway, I just have to put it out there. So I'm gonna be talking about cherry and sour cherry, and I'm not gonna be talking about cherry blossoms, because we're not talking about the blossom. We are talking about the fruit, the juicy, beautiful little fruit. So it's gonna be in no particular order, just like how it goes. So the first one is probably my favorite, and I wanted to make sure that these are the fragrances that are easy to get, easy to buy. And this one, technically it has been discontinued, but you can still find it in so many places. So this is Scandale. This is Scandale by Night, by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and this is a beautiful cherry. This is a cherry mixed with a ton of honey. It also has white flowers, but primarily it's honey, cherry, and white flowers, and it is such a beautiful thing. And in my opinion, if you are not a lover of a cherry or a sour cherry, which I deducted you're not, because if you are, then you probably already own a lot of fragrances with cherry. But if you're not a lover, if you're just looking for the options out there, this might be for you, especially if you kind of afraid to get this kind of acidic notes to the cherry or the sour cherry. This one is beautiful, especially if you like the line. You have to like this fragrance line, because it's potent, it's loud, it's screaming, it's beautiful, but the note of cherry is quite prominent. It's kind of mitigated a little bit by honey, but anyway, you have it there, and it's there, it's in your face. So next one is a beautiful fragrance that when you spray it for the first time, you don't really get cherry, you get cherry after some time. So this is a limited edition, but again, this is the fragrance that you can actually still get, no problem. So this is In Love With You, Freeze by Armani. Or is it Licking? Yeah, it's, yeah. Anyway, it's a beautiful frosted bottle, and it's a little bit of a pain because I've just put my hand cream, so you can actually see that it seems like it's leaking. It's not leaking, it's just my fingerprints. Anyway, this is a nice cherry fragrance. The cherry is very faint here, and this is a fragrance that has a very strong component of soap, like a soapy component. There's no aldehydes in this fragrance. Do not be alert with that. There's no aldehydic part in it. It's just the sensation that you get, the sensation of cleanness, the sensation of this beautiful and rich leather that you, when you're taking the shower or a bath. So this is this kind of soapy, leathery cherry. The cherry comes a bit after the main clean part, but it's beautiful. So this is for you if you are searching for kind of really squeaky, clean fragrance with the cherry note in it. And I personally love this this fragrance, and I'm using it. I'm using it primarily when it's hot, because this fragrance gives this kind of the feeling of cleanness, the feeling of just out of shower with a little bit of cherry. So the next one is the fragrance that has been around for years and years. This is Lolita Olympica by Lolita Olympica. So this is a fragrance that is not just about the cherry, but the cherry is here. So they actually have another fragrance that is called Sweet. You can easily identify it because the Sweet is in the red packaging, but the red packaging for me is kind of a very sweet one. This one is beautiful because it has this kind of very powdery, kind of violet cherry. It has star anise, so you have this kind of powdery, a little bit colder fragrance with a lot of cherry. It's not dated by no means, because sometimes powdery fragrances can you know, get this sensation of being dated. This is not dated. This is very nice and very, very modern. It's just an amazing take on cherry. So I strongly recommend trying not only that fragrance that I've mentioned. If you want even more cherry, then you just go for this Sweet fragrance. It's called Sweet. But just in general, this brand is a fantastic brand. So we are coming to the two fragrances by the same brand. It's a Guerlain brand, and I love it. It's one of my favorite brands in cosmetics, when it comes to cosmetics and when it comes to fragrances. I just love to bits this brand. So this is the limited edition. It was discontinued later on. Do not make this mistake. This is this La Petite Robe Noire, and this is Black Perfecto. I do own a bottle, a big bottle. I didn't take it with me here because it's irrelevant. Black Perfecto Floral. It's a floral fragrance. It has no cherry whatsoever. This one, it has cherry. It has leather and it has cherry. I love cherry. I do not love leather, but in this fragrance, the leather and cherry, it's not even a cherry, it's more like a cherry liquor, a very rich and very dense and very boozy liquor, plus this leather. And this is a very nice fragrance. I'm not a big fan of it because I'm not a big fan of leather. I'm not a big fan of this leather because it kind of, for me, it smells spot on like a new leather bag. But anyway, if you love leather, if you are on a market for leathery and cherry fragrance, that might be for you because it's fantastic. And I couldn't just you know, show you just this one as a representative, as a whole. I have to show you this one. This is La Petite Robe Noire, and this is Ma Robe Velour. So it's again, it's a limited edition. It has been discontinued. You can still find it, no problem. But It's not about this fragrance in particular, it's about the line as a whole, because just around 80% of these fragrances, of this Le Petit Robe Noir, they are about the cherry. There are several fragrances that are not about the cherry. They have no cherry whatsoever, but these ones, they have cherry, almost like 80%, but well, maybe 70, just to be sure, maybe 70% of these fragrances, they have cherry inside. So if you want a no-brainer, if you don't want to spend a lot of time, if you don't want to spend a lot of money searching for the fragrance, just go to Guerlain counter, just go to these fragrances and check the one that you like, because chances are there's going to be several of them standing and looking at you, and just pick one of them and the cherry will be there, almost for sure, because some of them do not have cherry, but the majority has cherry accord of some sort. So, and this one is beautiful. I like this fragrance, but again, I'm not talking to you about this fragrance in particular, but just about the line. This is a cherry that I have to say that I was so hopeful that it's gonna be a beautiful, a very prominent cherry. It has cherry, the cherry accord isn't as deep, it isn't as prominent, it isn't as pronounced as I was hoping for, but I still kind of like this fragrance. I have no wish to buy a bigger bottle. So this is Kayali and Love Fest Burning Cherry. It has cherry in it. The cherry, unfortunately, isn't so longeve. I mean, you have a beautiful composition of flowers, and but the cherry accord, it's right there from the beginning, but then it doesn't last long. The cherry accord, it doesn't last long. So I actually found myself spraying this fragrance after a couple of hours to kind of refresh this cherry accord on myself, because after a while the cherry just completely vanishes. And if you are on a market for a cherry fragrance, but you just kind of, you want a little bit of cherry, but you don't really care about the cherry, but you would like to have this juiciness in the beginning, this might be for you, because the cherry, it goes away after a while, but you are left with a beautiful, nice fragrance, just not with cherry fragrance. So this one is a fragrance that I don't have a full size of it. It's just a mini. This is the Intense version of Lancôme La Nuit Intense, and this has a cherry to it. As a whole, I have to tell you that I am in love with Trésor line. Especially, I love the Classic Trésor. Classic Trésor is one of my top favorite fragrances overall. And this one, it doesn't remind me of a Classic Trésor. It does remind me of Trésor La Nuit à la Folie that I also own, but with the added cherry. So it's quite heavy on vanilla, it's heavy on cherry, it's very sweet, it's opulent, it's kind of nighttime, daytime fragrance. It's kind of, it can be overwhelming, and the cherry accord is very, very nice here. It kind of, there's one thing though, there's also a rose here for my nose. I don't remember if it's in the notes, but I can smell this kind of lipsticky feeling to it. So, and the lipsticky feeling is also the thing that comes from rose for me. So in my opinion, this is a very rosy fragrance with the cherry. So that's why I actually don't own a big bottle of it, because the rose here is very prominent, but the cherry note is very prominent as well. And if you like roses, unlike me, unlike myself, I don't like roses. That's why I don't want to have anything to do with the big bottle of this fragrance. Anyway, this is the nice one. It has this La Nuit Trésor à la Folie plus rose, lipstick rose plus cherry. Beautiful, very beautiful fragrance. This one I will. Oh, sorry, it fell down. I probably will leave this fragrance for the last, because if you're in the market for the cherry, if you want a no-brainer, if you want a fragrance that is readily available, it's there for you. I would recommend to go just for it and to ignore completely anything else. But I do have 3 more fragrances to go through. So this one is the fragrance that is called Melting Lust by the German brand, a young German brand, Emile Elise. And this one is a boozy fragrance. It's a boozy, super boozy cherry fragrance. It kind of, it reminds me the Boho Boko wet cherry liquor, kind of along those lines. So it's a very boozy, very like, sometimes it goes in this kind of almost medicinal kind of way, but the cherry is very nice. It's very prominent. It's very obvious. So this is a nice fragrance. I'm gonna be putting all the names down below. Don't worry, you don't have to remember these fragrances. So this one is the fragrance by Memoirs, and this is the fragrance that is called Anima. Anima in Italian is soul, so it's kind of a soul fragrance. So apart from being flowery, and this is the fragrance that it kind of reminds me a little bit of this one. It has violet, it's very powdery, but it also has this kind of very prominent note of cherry. This is a beautiful fragrance, and this is a nice brand. They have beautiful bottles, amazing bottles. I love them very much. So if you're in the market for the beautiful bottle, for a beautiful cherry, for the powdery cherry, then this might be for you. And the last one, the last fragrance, and then we will go to the fragrance that I would actually recommend you buying. Well, I would recommend you buying any of these fragrances, but just this one is no-brainer. So this one is Ceresia or Ceresia. I don't know. It's, well, according to the to how it should be pronounced, it's a fragrance that is called Ceresia. So anyway, this is the fragrance by Teatro Fragranze Uniche, and this is also the fragrance sample that I've got during the exams. And they have a most beautiful, amazing setup with this cherry, big cherries, and, well, the plastic cherries. If I will still find the photo, I will just put it in here. So this is a nice cherry fragrance. It's almost you know, monochromatic cherry fragrance. A very nice one. It's a very potent one. I love this one. In fact, I have to hold myself back not to use it all, because first of all, I just had one sample, and second of all, I wanted to make this video for a while, so I had to keep my most beautiful cherry fragrances samples still alive. So this one is a nice fragrance, cherry fragrance. It has a lot of almond, in my opinion. It doesn't have any powderness, it doesn't have any violet, nothing like that, just almond and just cherry. Beautiful fragrance. So a no-brainer, and this is the fragrance that I would recommend, and I actually did recommend it to my friends that they were asking me what is the best cherry fragrance, and we want to have a quality fragrance, and we want to have a quality for the money, and we don't want to have to pay a lot. So this is the fragrance that I have to hold myself back because it's almost gone. It is almost gone. It has like couple of sprays left. This is the Montal fragrance Intense Cherry. And oh boy, it is intense. It is an intense cherry. Beautiful, intense, very nice cherry. I don't know if you can hear it, but probably not. This is all that is left here. Beautiful cherry fragrance. The cherry is from the beginning till the end. It lasts and it lasts and it lasts. And oh my gosh, I have got so many compliments wearing this fragrance. Why would I recommend this fragrance? First of all, the Montal fragrances, that they have so many points and resellers that can actually get you the bottle, right? The second of all, it's 100 ml a bottle, and it's cost like 140 euros or something like that. So the price point is beautiful, and you can obviously always share it with your friends. And then the longevity is here. The cherry is here with you all the time, and the cherry, you can feel the cherry. The cherry is beautiful. It's juicy, and it's just an amazing fragrance. And I know that some people are not keen of Montal, but in my opinion, this is a fragrance well made. This is the cherry fragrance well made, and all of these fragrances are well made. And but some of these fragrances can be kind of tricky to find, like the Boho Boko fragrance. It's hard to find, or Emile Elise, it's hard to find, and this one is not hard to find. So this is the one that I would go for, because it's just an amazing fragrance. Yeah, I do really hope that you like this video. I do hope that you find it useful for you. If you're on the market for beautiful cherry fragrances, I hope that you have found your next cherry fragrance. And if you have already some cherry fragrances, please let me know what are the cherry fragrances that you have, what are the cherry fragrances that you like and that you wear. And I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a beautiful Sunday. Bye!